up in those altitudes. I have actually regional pictures of where maca grows. I'm gonna show you this. This is cool. Superfoods, there it is right there. Pictures, there's that. Maca, okay. Here's where maca grows. Right there. Those are maca fields right here. Now there's a glacier right there. See the glacier right there? See the snow? That's how high that is. Nothing else to grow there. Even grass doesn't grow there. Watch this. Look, watch. By the way, here's maca in its powdered state. There's its curling photo. Here's what we just saw. There's that one again. And then I'm standing there. Look at that. That's a maca field.
Where is that?
That's in Peru. We're going to go there. March, we're going there, and we want to go with us to Peru. It's like, let's get going. We got room.
The maca's high in calcium. I mean, silica.
Well, here's why maca. I didn't get to that part yet. Okay, so how's maca fit into all this? Precursors to hormones. Now, it's illegal, according to the FDA. The FDA agent told me this. I mean, there's no agents or secret agents in this country at all. I mean, we don't have any secret societies or anything like that. Of course not. It's a free country. An FDA agent told me that I cannot ever indicate to anybody that any food can influence hormones in any way. So I'm not doing that.
You can hear it here.
Okay.
How much maca or chocolate would you recommend per day?
1 tablespoon per day, and you do about 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. And you do that with anything you do. You never do everything every day all the time. It's always kind of like, it's like a pulsation, always with everything. And then everything works better that way. Herbs are found to be working better if you kind of pulsate on and off of them. You'll do it anyway naturally because you'll kind of like forget to take something for a while and all of a sudden you get back on it. It's just the natural way of things. That's a really amazing place up there. I mean, you could look at there's a snow line right there. There's a glacier right there.
Wow.
Oops. Picture there.
Some more.
There's the station. Here it is. All right. Cool stuff. How about them cool beans? Cool cacao beans.
What about these silica supplements they sell?
Okay, some silica supplements are good. Flora's vegetal silica is good. It's a horsetail extract. Biosil, in my opinion, is not very good at all. It doesn't really work. And then I'll tell you what's a really good product. I have it on Sun Food, and this product was, the guy who developed this product was in Nexus magazine. Do you know about Nexus magazine? That's a really good magazine where they take people who've been like crucified by the world medical mafia or the economic hitmen of the world, or really exotic science and stuff like that, and they'll give it a forum to be heard. And this guy developed a product called Orgono living silica made out of spring water, and it's a concentrate of living silica from spring water, which really has ormus in it, and it's powerful. Just put it on your skin; it goes right in your skin. And I would love to have that product actually available at events, but I can't even get enough of it. It's hard to get it. I get it on my website occasionally, we instantly sell out of it. So it's something to watch for. Orgono living silica.
Strictly topical?
No, you can ingest it or use it topically. If you have pain in your joints, pain can be gone. Well, I think it's probably illegal for me to say that any pain can be gone anyway, but let's just say I did say that. In seconds. Seconds. Rheumatic pain gone in seconds. That's why the World Medical Mafia just said, we gotta get rid of this guy. And there's no World Medical Mafia, I just made that up.
Call the AMA.
What was that?
It's unbelievable what's
What was
going on.
that, Flora?
Flora is the brand name, and the product is vegetal silica. Really good product to travel around with. I travel around with that sometimes because sometimes, in traveling, it's hard to get silica because I can't even get it from wild food because I'm in cities, and it's like, because I normally just travel with like herbs and like goji berries and cacao and pumpkin seeds, and then for vegetables, I don't even buy vegetables from a store. I'll just get into an area like that area you saw in the Andes like that, and I'll just eat wild foods for the vegetables. And then I'll eat out pumpkin seeds, and I'll eat those at the same time, and then that's my salad. Right? Because when you're traveling in South America and stuff, I don't want to be buying vegetables from a store. Or, stuff that's been, or India, woo, no way. You're better off eating weeds that are on like way off the beaten track.
So how do you carry books around with you? I mean, do you know?
Oh, I know the plants, because they're the same the world over. Yeah, the main plants like malva, dandelion, lamb's quarters, chicory, Alifaria, or cranesbill. They're all over the whole planet. And so any ecosystem you're in, they're going to be there.
David, I was at Creative Health in Union City, Michigan, and you came for a talk, and you took us into the wild fields, and all of the things you just said is what you were picking up in the wild fields, teaching us how to eat off the land.
It's everywhere, yeah, and it's really, you can be in Michigan, you can be in Florida. We can go right in the back here, the back alley right here, and we'll walk down the alley, I can show you the wild foods. We can do it, we should do it. Yeah, it's just for fun. Just growing out of the sidewalk and stuff, it's hilarious. And then you can start to get a picture of like, oh, wait a second. You don't, like vegetables, you don't buy that. You don't buy vegetables. I mean, you get there eventually. Don't take my word for it right now, because some of us are like, we're going to have a nutritional holocaust. It's like, okay, I just need to eat salad once a day. That's what I'm at. That's fine, right? But for me, it's like I don't go to Whole Foods and buy vegetables. There's no food value there. I go there and I'll get like pumpkin seeds or something that has fat and protein in it. That's food value. Then I can take that and walk in Mother Nature's garden and just go, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this with the pumpkin seeds and nourish myself completely. And I did that in 3 weeks in South America, just walking through. I'll show you some pictures of that. It was really a fun trip. Just walking through Bolivia, just going through Bolivia, and I had 1.5 pounds of pumpkin seeds. Look at this wild food right there. That's wild reishi. Oops. Wild reishi. And then wild chaga, wild mushrooms. This is chaga. She's really happy she pulled that off a tree. It's chocolate face. And then we just powdered it down to a powder, and it goes right into your superfoods. You mix it right in, boom, it's ready to go. Throw it in a blender. You take a wild mushroom off a tree, pull it off, powder it with a mortar and pestle just like that. Take that powder, throw it right into your chocolate smoothie, blend it up, and you're ready to go. It's that easy. Is that difficult to anybody? Here's what's more difficult than that. Working for the man every night and day, generating dollars that have all kinds of really weird symbols on them. Does anybody notice that? Or is it's not just me, is it? Really arcane, weird stuff on there. Okay, then I have to then drive somewhere in a car that's producing other than excellent carbon emissions, and then go into a store, navigate my way through, like, God knows what's going on in there, but there's a lot of good things in there actually. I mean, once you know what you're looking for. And then take that arcane thing, that imagery or whatever that thing is, and then hand that over to somebody, take that, drive back home, get my equipment out, and then mix it into a thing. That's in my backyard. I can go up there, go boom, crush it down, it goes right in, it's done like that. And it's 100% FREE. Now, what do you think is better for you? What's better for the planet? Just guess. You can all do that in your backyard. Anybody can do that in their backyard. Let's say you go, I can't do that. Okay, tomatoes, you can do that. Let's say I can't do tomatoes. Okay, don't have to grow tomatoes. Okay, lettuce. Okay, here's another thing. Just let your weeds grow. Don't mow the lawn. Just let it all come up. Because what's in your front yard is actually what you need, and what's in your backyard is definitely what you need.
Wow.
Mother Nature will show you. It's like when I see thistles coming up in my yard, I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta do liver cleansing. All right. It's always like that. Whatever is in your front yard, that's your Mother Nature going, okay, this is the plants that you need, and what do? We just like mow them down, chomp on them in the winter. There's a natural way to get it, and that is in November, you go out and you pick all your mushrooms. You dry your medicinal mushrooms like reishi, like we just showed you there. I'll show you exactly the picture here. By the way, look, that was lunch one day. Wild cherries, and there's my salad. That's a mouthful of flour, by the way, right there.
That's some pamphlet, yeah.
Okay, so you'll see, that's Alex Gray, the great psychedelic artist. Do you know who he is? He's been around for a year. Should I erase it? Yeah, you erased it. Oh, there it is. Okay, You flip the mushroom upside down once you pick it, and you sun dry it. Thank you. And what happens when you sun dry it is it converts ergosterol into vitamin D2. And the amount of vitamin D2 that's present is extraordinarily high. You can make a tea with that. Vitamin D2 comes into the water, and you get vitamin D right there.
And it's only these reishi mushrooms.
It's all polypores or tree mushrooms, which are called polypores, tree mushrooms. Now you can, if you're not, living next to a forest, you're gonna have to do it some other way. Which is, first of all, you're in Florida, so you don't have to worry about it. You can just go out in the sun, you got it. Don't worry about it here. But if you have to go back up there, like New York, then you have to kind of think about these things. But if you're here, don't worry about it. You got enough sun, all you have to do is get out in the sun. Half hour each day. Even just on your face, 30 minutes of sun on your face is enough vitamin D for your whole day.
So I see these mushrooms all the time that I've seen you show pictures of, and I'm so afraid of mushrooms. I've always heard they're dangerous and poisonous. All that. How do we know?
Okay, well the first thing you do is you educate yourself on tree mushrooms only. Forget about the ones coming out of the ground, that's too dangerous.
Okay.
All tree mushrooms are edible except for the jack-o'-lantern, which glows in the dark, which is kind of the indicator like, oh, there's something there I should be. You know those light sticks like on Halloween? You don't want to eat that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a really good place to start. Start studying the tree mushrooms. And the trees are the very leading representatives of the entire fungi kingdom, the tree mushrooms. And from that, you can then just start to develop a little bit of knowledge about, okay, here's what mushrooms do, here's what they are. You can go out and start picking some, playing around with it, and then from there, if you want to, you can go further. Now, I started, doing crazy stuff like eating purple mushrooms out of the forest and stuff like that. Bugs still alive, so I'll just
See colors.
No. I mean, this is stuff like this really nutritive kind of mushrooms, like boletes and different types of ground mushrooms. But you don't want to go there unless you are a real expert in mushroom picking.
I've never seen a tree mushroom. Am I deprived?
You've been deprived and depleted, and fortunately, it's going to be a different thing next time you walk in a forest.
Yeah, hike around.
It's going to be a different thing because you walk through the forest and go, whoa, there they are, because they're shells. They come out like shells. Right? They come out like this. Look.
Do they come out of the bark?
This is right at the very bottom base of the tree. That's the very bottom of the tree. That's like near my ankle.
That's okay. But they don't have a stem on them. They just.
Sometimes they don't have a stem. That's a reishi, so that'll have a stem on it. But if you're dealing with like another Ganoderma, like the big artist conch mushroom, that just kind of comes out of the tree like a shelf, and it's obviously a mushroom. And that is one of the medicinal mushrooms. And there are all those kinds. The Coriolis ones that look like oysters coming out of this thing. You flip them and they go. They kind of like snap back. You can go and they go bing, bing. That kind of thing.
So all tree mushrooms are
Edible. All tree mushrooms are edible except for the jack-o'-lantern, which is a glow-in-the-dark tree mushroom, which is very unlikely you'd ever even see that or find them.
And trees down here grow up?
Yep.
I gotta look at the trees.
That's what recycles trees. So in the cycle of nature, when you have a forest ecosystem, something's got to reduce everything down to that black carbon layer. That's why we go into the forest and get that carbon layer out of there and put it into our garden, because that's all that energy of that recycling of all that tree matter back down through the mushrooms, and then it layers onto the forest floor, eventually builds up a carbon layer. And if that carbon layer is laid undisturbed for many, many years, then that's called humic acid or fulvic acid, because it will layer, and then eventually there will be some compression, and the whole thing will harden into a rock, and that's fulvic acid. And that's what makes all minerals more bioavailable. You take that stuff, you crush that down to a powder, you mix it with your other minerals, and everything absorbs better. But you don't need to even worry about that.
And it's from the trees and the leaves. And
Yep.
so an oak tree, go and get the leaves and the soil and compost it into the garden.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily get the leaves,
But I mean,
because the
the
leaves
leaves
might have acids that you don't want.
The leaves that compost it into the black soil. though.
Once it's become black soil, that's what you want.
David, so Gabriel, I didn't used to eat too much mushrooms anyway, but then I stopped completely because Gabriel cousin says mushrooms to be fungus, and all funguses should be avoided.
Yeah, and that's what also is said by Dr. Young. So Gabriel knows the truth about mushrooms now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And why? Because he just went along with Dr. Young's thing. Well, Dr. Young's one of those guys who sent spies to my lectures. to find out about mushrooms and what they do. And I find that really fascinating. I was like, oh really? You don't know what mushrooms do? You wrote about that in your book.
Yeah, he said.
Probably no.
He said if you're in the produce area, don't even breathe around mushrooms. They're that.
Now, the portobello mushrooms, the button mushrooms, are very likely contaminated with lots of mold. And so portobello mushrooms that you find in a store are not tree mushrooms. They're not this. So those are what you want to avoid. And that's what he's talking about, really. He didn't even know what a reishi mushroom was. He had no idea what any of this stuff. These are the very highest noble mushrooms in the world. And what they do, because they're so noble, is they secrete everything else to keep all their competitors off of them. What are their competitors? Candida, bright green molds, the lower forms of mold. It's kind of like us. We don't want rats crawling on us. We keep them off of us. That's exactly what they do. And so the best thing against candida is noble mushrooms, right? The medicinal mushrooms. The best thing against, what's that zodiac sign again that begins with a C?
Cancer.
That's my sign, stop it.
So are you
It's a crab.
Are you saying, Dave, that we should stay away from any mushrooms that we're gonna buy in the grocery store and
Yes, if you grow your own mushrooms in your own backyard, that's fine. But the problem with those button mushrooms is that they're shipped by trucks, and those trucks can be massively contaminated with mold on the inside, really badly. And then that gets underneath and gets on the inside of the gills, on the inside of those mushrooms. So we can our immune system can be getting blasted with mold and we don't even realize it. It would be the equivalent of eating, let's say you were eating a bright green orange mold, or bright green mold on an orange. Eating that, no one would eat that, right? But you can get dosed like that on a button mushroom without knowing it. And that's where the truth is in those statements that are made in those books.
What about the large portobello? They're okay?
Well, that's another one. See, just by being shipped through stores and trucks, it can be contaminated. The mold spores can get on the inside of that mushroom. Generally, those mushrooms are not really able and capable of defending themselves against the lower mushroom forms. And so they are contaminated, and then we're kind of dealing with that without realizing it. Where you would want to go is really either picking your own wild mushrooms or techno-processed mushrooms that have been completely extracted and have no residue of any mold, any fungi, anything is left, it's all gone. One of those two methods is the way to go.
Can you wash that in one lot?
No, you can't because it gets in the gills underneath the mushroom. Now, if you let's say you had a shiitake grower here who came to the farmer's market and he just brought it down, drove it down on the truck, that's fine. Because shiitake is a tree mushroom. It's a soft tree mushroom. It's like a button mushroom in its taste and flavor, much more medicinal, but it's more appropriate. Does that make sense? Because it's not been shipped through trucks into stores, it doesn't have the same mold problems, and it's super medicinal. In that case, yeah, you can pull it off with shiitake mushroom.
And there is a mushroom grower, I wouldn't wait it. You will be served some mushrooms, right?
What are those kits that they have? Where they give you a log and you grow your own mushrooms?
Yeah, you can do that. Growing your own mushrooms is really easy. It's so easy. If you have any kind of forest around your house, all you have to do is take a fallen tree, drill 20 holes in it, and you get these little dowels that are contaminated with whatever mushroom, let's say shiitake, and you just go with a hammer and just pound them in to the tree, and then that mycelium will get into that log. Next thing you know, a year later, boom, they'll be popping out.
Wow.
So easy. It takes 5 minutes.
So we can eat them right off the tree.
Right off the tree.
So we don't have to dry them or cure them.
Well, with reishi, when it's young like that, it's actually edible. As it matures, it becomes hard, and then you have to make a tea out of it. It's like biting into a piece of a 2x4. You'd be like,
You can make it into a powder and blend it.
no. If you blend these, it destroys the beta-glucans or the polysaccharide. So the medicinal quality is destroyed by blending. If you take that and you blend it, you'll destroy that active medicinal compound. Chaga is the only exception to that, actually, which is that one that we looked at right here. This is Chaga right there. It looks like a piece of burnt toast. I mean, it looks like people think that it's actually like the tree got hit by lightning, but it's actually not lightning, it's a mushroom. And when you break it off, that's the inside of it. You can see the antioxidants. Guess what that is? That's the highest antioxidant content mushroom and food other than cacao in the world. Chaga.
Did you say the mushrooms are good for cancer?
I can't say that because it's illegal, but I am a bishop in a church, and from a spiritual perspective, definitely yes.
So that's the only one that you can actually blend. The others.
The others are different. Yeah, this is a very unique mushroom in the world. In Siberian shamanism, chaga grows across the entire northern belt of the whole northern hemisphere of the world. And I had to find that out the hard way because I went to all these Canadian herbalists and they're like, chaga, what are you talking about? Never heard of that. For a year. I'm like, this doesn't grow here? And like, no. Finally, one day I was looking up the Latin binomial of this, which is Inonata obliquus. And then I was looking in a book and I was like, whoa, wait a second, it is in the Canadian forest. Then one day I started looking at what it looks like, and then one day I'm out there and I was like, that's right there. It's there. It's right there. It's been here all along. King of the mushrooms in Siberian shamanism. See, the thing about America is America, the Native Americans were hunters and fishermen. The conquerors of America, the white people who came here, hunters and fishermen. People here were not into plants. People who are into plants are in Mexico and South America. That's where all the plants were domesticated and all the great cultivars come from. They did not come from North America because people who were here were hunters and fishermen. So when you really start to look at even the herbal lore of North America, it's a big zero. I mean, if people don't know anything about anything. It's like, when I get into that forest, the temperate forest of Canada, it's like a complete brand new slate. The Native Americans, they don't know much about it. The white people, they don't know anything about it. They don't know nothing about it. And they don't even know that chaga is growing there. The king of the mushrooms. I mean, you talk about power. You have 8 tablespoons of that mushroom in a day, you feel the power. That is a tremendous concentrated nutrition. That thing she's got in her hand right there weighs about 4 pounds. Solid mass. You can just gnaw into it. You can actually just eat it just like that. And it tastes good. It doesn't taste, how that mushroomy taste is like, I don't know. It doesn't have that taste. It's hard to believe it's a mushroom, and it grows in living trees. Not dead trees, only in living trees.
Where would you get it here in this area?
You wouldn't. You'd have to go up to Georgia. And you find it in Georgia.
Really? How do you spell it?
Chaga. Chaga, chaga.
That's a mushroom.
That's a mushroom, yeah. That's so much fun, powdering chaga, and then it was unbelievable. We make it tea, we take a little chunk like that, throw that in tea, make a tea out of that, and then we take that, dump that all into a smoothie. Then it'd be wild cherries from the local area, wild chaga, cacao, local honey, with the chaga tea as the base. Blend that up. That's nutrition.
Power.
That's nutrition. That's human nutrition. We are a noble organism. We are a noble being. We deserve to have noble food. In fact, we must eat it in order to elevate our consciousness. There is no way, by the way, I've been there with the great spiritual masters on this earth that I've been able to, fortunate enough to meet. And I am very firmly convinced that there is no way to have noble thoughts eating noble food. No chance. It's not possible.
I agree.
You turn that over in your own consciousness and your own experience, that you eat noble food, it develops noble thoughts and ideas, it develops a noble future and imagination for all of us. But if we keep on junk food, that's why the whole lab coat vending machine science projects of, this experiment showed that. It's like, that experiment didn't show anything. All it showed is that this dude in a lab coat who's totally unhealthy and demineralized ate out of a vending machine, and his own projections onto this experiment actually developed that result. That's all it showed.
This whole generation has had the vending machines. We never had vending machines in school. And look at what's happened to this generation.
That's right.
Kind of trip, huh?
We are what we eat.
What about reverse osmosis?
Oh, what about water? Okay, I'm a spring water guy. Meaning you go to the source where the water comes out of the rock and you get your water right there. And then you have that experience of the earth teaching you, or God's water showing you. Like people are like, I'm going to go pray to God who's way out there somewhere. Come on. You want to know where God is? It's right in the spring water. That's where God is. That's what you want to have God's own breath right there. Drink the water that is coming out of the earth itself. And when you drink that water, the information that is downloaded into you, that's the teaching. That's a teaching I cannot give. It's impossible. The only thing I can tell you is direct you, do that, and then you see it for yourself. That's why you cannot take municipal water and turn it into spring water. You can't. The information's not there. Only the earth and God, in that great cycles of the hydrology of the earth, the water cycles of the earth, can generate inside through that permeation in the rocks of the earth and all the information that's there and then elevating that water up, levitating it up into the mountains, and then spilling it over into spring water, and then you drinking and partaking of that, only that can educate you about what water really is. I can't do it.
So what do we do when we can't go to the source of the spring?
You do the best you can with what you have where you are.
Give us a clue. What would be your...
One thing is the calcium content of this water here in South Florida, very dangerous because you get calcified, right? That's what the coral that's underneath this earth right here contains calcium-forming organisms. It comes up in well water, it comes up in municipal water systems, and what ends up happening is that we get calcium or scale forming. Now, there's different theories about scale. One theory is it's just calcium ions. The other theory is no, those are miniature barnacles, and we don't want that inside our body. You know what barnacles are? Anybody know what a barnacle is?
Yeah.
Do you want barnacles on the inside of your body? Absolutely not. When barnacles get on the inside of your cardiovascular system, what happens is you lose that fluid dynamics, which is that action, the water, the blood flowing like this through there, the cyclone action. And what happens is you get straight pipes all of a sudden because everything gets barnacled up. You've seen it before. You know what I'm talking about, it happens in the ocean. We're almost done here, we've got one more minute. Hold on. Okay, so then we want to make sure we filter out calcium out of our water for sure. We got to pre-filter calcium out of our water. And what do we got to get to? We got to get to a water that is at least free of calcium and purified. Maybe we might be able to drink that. I would never drink that personally, no way. But if you want to drink that, you could probably survive on it. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not going to lie. I can't lie about water because it's irrational for me to do that. Because we got to get on the right program. And actually, if you were, I designed this cover. It was what I wanted, but it was missing something. And so that then she said, hey, you can use my art piece. And I sent it to our graphic artist, and he dropped it in there. And we're like, that's it.
Perfect. The eyes of Jesus.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Overlooking, right? The watching.
Yeah. The world. The universe.
The universe. Yeah.
Awesome.
You're gonna dig that book. You are gonna dig that book.
It was sitting on the table. Yeah, it was sitting on the table next to me. Yeah, you had bought the last copy that was up there. I was behind you, and I was like, oh no. So I was so grateful what you were able to do, but I felt so attracted to the book that was sitting on the table next to me.
Where is the CSA on the shirt here?
In Vero Beach.
You know what I love? I love the little
Yep.
thing you do on your
Yes, it is.
when
Yep.
you I order products.
Cigarette.
We want to thank Jenna from Nora Productions and Supercharged.
Give me a second.